The Hanukah Light series is sponsored by Mr. and Mrs. Max and Anita Benatar, Le'ilu Nishmat Dina Leah Bat Sarah Rasha, Part 2. The holiday of Hanukah symbolizes the victory of the Hashmonaim over the Greek army and those who wish to instill Greek culture on its inhabitants. The rabbis connect Yavan with Choshech, Greece with darkness. The Midrash writes that darkness is attributed to the Greeks because they, quote, darkened the eyes of Israel with their decrees. For example, they would say to them, "We want you to write on the horn of an ox that you have no part into the God of Israel." Why are the Greeks the ones who specifically darkened the eyes of Israel? Didn't the Romans also prohibit the study of Torah? Didn't the Romans kill 10 holy martyrs with the worst possible suffering and death? What about the Spanish Inquisition in the 1400s? Or the Iron Curtain that fell on millions of Russian Jews, preventing them to learn Torah and perform mitzvot? Why don't we consider these enemies to be the ones who darkened the eyes of the Jews? Our question is strengthened when you compare the actions of the Greeks versus those of other enemy nations. Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the Bet HaMikdash and sent the Jews into exile. He was from Babylon. So did the Romans the second time around. When Nebuchadnezzar came up to Jerusalem to fight, he brought his legions of warriors and nations to fight against the Jews. But actually, there was one enemy who had an army that didn't choose to fight. The Greeks. They took no part in its destruction, and they didn't join them in the fight against Am Yisrael. Lastly, when the Greeks were in charge, they didn't destroy the temple. They left it in place. So they didn't exile the people, they didn't destroy the temple, and kept them living in their country. So why then are the Greeks the ones who darkened the eyes of the Jewish people? Tune in for part 3 tomorrow.